Hi, good day everyone, and welcome to this special virtual panel discussion, 1 Year MBA in India, the Growth Epicenter Advantage. I am Shruti from GOALisB, where we specialize in helping ambitious professionals navigate their higher education journey. Today's discussion comes at a very transformative moment in India's economic story. As someone who has guided candidates through their MBA journey, I've witnessed firsthand how an Indian MBA has evolved from being considered an alternative to becoming a strategic advantage in global career development. Today, we bring together leadership from India's three premier business institutions, ISB, IIMA, and IIMB, to explore a simple but a very powerful idea. Why studying in India right now offers an unmatched advantage for future business leaders. As India is projected to become the third largest economy within 3 years, we are witnessing a historic moment. Our distinguished panelists today will share insights on how their 1 year MBA programs provide direct access to India's economic momentum, create powerful networks with decision makers, and position graduates at the center of global business shifts. So, let me introduce the panelists, three visionary leaders from India's premier business institutions who are shaping the future of global business education. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us. And we have on the panel today Mr. Balakrishna B. He's an alumnus of IIM Bangalore, has more than 30 years of industry experience in leading IT and manufacturing companies. Currently, he's the head of marketing programs at IIM Bangalore. Thank you, sir, for joining us today.
Thank you, Shruti. Happy to be here with you and the panel. Yeah.
Absolutely. And Mr. Vikram Goyal, he's a seasoned leader with over
Hello.
2 decades of experience in higher education and the service industry. Currently, Vikram is heading the PGPX program, the 1 year MBA program at IIM Ahmedabad, where he not only leads the entire student life cycle from admissions to alumni outreach, but also mentors new academic programs within the institute. He is known for his strategic acumen in enhancing academic programs, global partnerships, and developing effective strategies and policies. And we will
Thank you.
shortly be joined. Sorry.
Thank you. Nice to be here and nice to be here with the panelists as well.
Yes. And we will shortly be joined by Mr. Amit Tyagi. He's Senior Associate Director, ISB. Amit is the program head for admissions for PGP in management and PGP for young leaders at ISB. He has over 19 years of experience across sales, marketing, admissions in the education sector in India. In his earlier stints, he has led international recruitment for universities across the African and South Asian geographies. He has worked with accreditation agencies and developed business plans and go to market strategies for a greenfield university, led sales teams for an e learning startup in K 12 across geographies. Amit has completed his MBA from IIM Calcutta and is an electrical engineer from NIT Kurukshetra. Thank you, panelists, once again for taking out the time from your busy schedules for this conversation today.
Glad to be here. Thank you.
Same here, Shruti. Yeah.
And thank you, the audience, for joining us today. If you're considering your MBA options, today's discussion will provide very clear perspectives on why timing and location matter and why India's rise creates a unique moment for business education in India. So let's begin by asking our panelists to share how their 1 year MBA curriculum has been specifically designed to capitalize on the leadership skills demanded by the industry today. Uh, Vikram sir, we'd like to hear your thoughts on this.
Sure. Thank you once again for inviting me here, and thank you to all the audience members for being here on the evening of a Friday. So that's a very interesting question, Shruti, that you ask. So let me start by saying, at IIM Ahmedabad, the heart and soul of the institute is the faculty and the groundbreaking research which is done at the institute over here. This ensures that a lot of industry practices are imbibed into the curriculum, and the curriculum continuously evolves, and students get a benefit out of that. Rather than being just an education hub, it is more of a training ground for students to become leaders of tomorrow. So apart from that, the most important aspect also, which is I guess common even with all the other IIMs, is the case-based methodology of teaching, wherein students are actually trained to think like a CXO and are trained in decision making, which is extremely critical. And this is orchestrated by the professor in the classroom in a very strategic manner. And that is how the curriculum is actually delivered to the students who are eventually selected.
And Bala sir, how does IIM Bangalore, upkeep with the industry requirements and the
Sure.
EPGP curriculum specifically?
Sure. I fully agree with Mr. Vikram, whatever he has said. Just to add on a bit of it, see, any MBA program, including IIMB or the ISB, or we have two types of courses. One is core course, and the one is electives. In all these courses, we train students to take decisions. The decisions what they take is a holistic decision, whether it is a decision science system or it is a OBHRM or it's a marketing or economics, whatever be the subject, they should understand the situation and react to the given environment. So that in a way, each and every program trains them to be how to take decisions. That is one of the key parameter for a good leader. And in addition to this, what I would like to say when it comes to the electives, at IIM Bangalore, the last year we had close to 200 electives across 10 different areas. All these electives, in one way or the other, helping the students to understand the situation and also to look at the problem in a much more wider way, having, if suppose it may be a sales problem, but how it has an impact on the finance side or on the HR side or on the operation side back in the factory. So all these parameters we will be discussing with them, and these are the things what a leader will be looking into when he goes to the real world. And just to give you the numbers, the last year itself we had close to be specific, it was 18 electives which we offered had the leadership as a word in their name of the course, name of the electives. Okay, that is just a number, but each and every elective or the subject that student is studying here will have a touch of the leadership. So yes, the leadership building is right from day one. It is there, which is being inbuilt into the system, and it depends on the students how much they absorb from each of these things and how they make use of this in their real world situation. Back to you,
Right.
Shruti.
Yes. So there's another concern or maybe a question that comes up, very frequently. So a traditional MBA is what we have seen all along so many years is the 2 year MBA. Now we have the 1 year MBA, and there is a very niche audience that looks at this particular program. So when we are considering the 1 year MBA versus the 2 year MBA, then how does all the components of the program, how does it really compact into a single year? How does IMA handle that?
So, Shruti, what's been happening in the industry is something that we very closely watch. And this is not just from the corporate relationship perspective, but also from the perspective of, doing a lot of projects with these corporates and understanding their problems which they are facing, and working on various projects and consultancies by our professors. And apart from that, the IMA professors are also very deeply involved in government policy making and a lot of projects on that area as well. So we are very well aligned in terms of what are the requirements of a highly agile and adaptable leader of tomorrow. So where we see is a requirement from the corporate sector is that they need some kind of they need those kind of students who have some sort of industry exposure, trained by IMA in our training ground, and then they come here and select them for a lot of problem solving which is required in those organizations. So this is the essence of most of the 1 year MBA programs which you'll find in the country. And the compressed 1 year MBA is actually very important now going forward, because we see recruiters coming back again and again, and the hiring is going up from a lot of these companies as well, and there's a higher requirement as well. So the essence of the success of the one-year MBA program is the student, because it's extremely essential that the raw material is perfect. Only then can we train them correctly and release them into the corporate world. So our admissions processes ensure that we pick up students who are extremely academically inclined and have the kind of achievements under their belt during their entire corporate career, to come here and add those kind of discussions into the peer group whenever cases are discussed, and that brings about the richness into the discussion, and eventually the learning which is orchestrated by the professor.
Yes. And sir, at IIM Bangalore, again, the EPGP program falls into the same niche. How does the compressed timeline actually create an advantage for the people pursuing the program?
Yeah, here is an advantage for me because Vikram and we are the sister concern units, and the kind of the philosophy both the units adopt is one and the same. Let me take up from where he has left, from the admission to the syllabus, the career, that side of it. Um, as we know that it's a one-year MBA program, and students are with work experience. So the syllabus is being designed in such a way that uh, the knowledge what we are going to give, it is going to enhance, or it is an add-on to the work exposure that what they had earlier in their career. So we are adding the managerial knowledge to their uh, traditional work experience and make them a better decision makers in the industry. So that is the objective for us. So in this process, if you look at the 1-year MBA and the 2-year MBA, let me start with what are the similarities. It is the same faculties, and the next is the same electives. At IIMB, we have the same electives which has been offered to PGP and EPGP. Students can choose the electives so that a 2-year MBA student can come and sit in the 1-year MBA class, same as 1-year MBA student can sit in the 2-year MBA program when it comes to the electives. And it is the same placement office support which is being provided for both the programs. So while these things are the similarities, what is that which is different? The number of teaching hours. The 1-year MBA is 750 teaching hours. That is the knowledge what they get from the faculties, whereas the 2-year MBA is 950 teaching hours. That means 75% of the 2-year MBA's teaching hours is compressed into the 1-year MBA program. So you can consider the rigor of the program, how it is. And the classroom average work experience is around 7.5 years for a 1-year MBA, whereas the 2-year MBA, even we accept freshers there. So thereby it is around 2 years is the average work experience for the 2-year MBA. Yeah.
So the programs, they definitely address to the different niche, and also it is structured in such a way that the overlap is not
Yes.
actually detrimental to their growth. So that helps.
Yeah, the
And
same.
in terms,
Sorry for this one.
yes.
Uh, the difference is only in terms of the core courses at IIMB. So electives becomes the one and the same. Maybe I don't know how is it at IIMA. Is it the same? The electives are the one and the same there.
So at IIM Ahmedabad, there are electives which are common across the programs. So this way, the classroom experience has a cross-program experience in their discussions as well. Having said that, since every cohort in the one-year MBA at IIM is extremely different in terms of their backgrounds and diversification, there are many a times that some courses are tailor-made just for those batches. So in our electives, what we do is based on the feedback that the batch gives us, based on the interest that they have. We there are a lot of professors who will sit with them, understand the requirement, and then tailor make courses which are offered as electives, so that they can gauge those learnings from the professors and be up to date in terms of what's happening in the industry. But yes, like Mr. Balakrishna said, there are electives which are common across the programs. Cross program students can sit, of course, which ranges all the way from PhD to PGP to a 2-year MBA to 1-year MBA as well. So that is how it is.
Right. And sir, you mentioned earlier about the case studies and the way the classroom is conducted in terms of the discussions and the curriculum design. So since the audience is Indian and the target market is also India, that's how we suggest people that when you're looking at an MBA program, look at what target market you want to work with in the future, in the long term, and then pursue your MBA at that particular location. So, and India has a location advantage now. That's the whole idea of why we are discussing this today. So, how does this get incorporated into the case studies? How do the case studies or the case discussions get designed in the classroom?
That's a great question, Shruti. So, as I mentioned a while back, the IIMA professors are deeply involved with the corporates and various industries. And they, in fact, write cases based on their experiences and their consultancies, which they've done with these corporates. And these cases are picked up as examples and are even used by other colleges and are imbibed into the course material and the courses which continue to evolve as and when they go forward. In the 1-year MBA at IIMA, we also have something called IRP, which is an industry research project. Here, under the orchestration of the professor and in collaboration with a corporate, the students get a chance to research a problem in the industry and solve. So that is also possible. There are courses which are designed specifically around innovation, for example, wherein a corporate can come across into the classroom, uh, share a problem, and the students can help resolve that and solve that and build a solution around it. So this is, a few ways, and of course there are many other, uh, you know, academic related enhancements which happen, which ensure that curriculum is absolutely up to date and aligned with India's growth story.
Yes. And so, how does IIM Bangalore incorporate all the economic developments that are happening in India into the classroom?
Again, it becomes a repetition. Um, what I would like to say is, yes, it is a case-based study, and the teaching is on the cases, and the learning happens based on the discussions in the classroom. It is not only from the faculty to the students, and it is a peer learning is also there. And also we invite a lot of industry specialists to the class, and this is how it is. And the cases, how we are going to select. The faculties are, I can say, the best in the industry kind of the faculties in all the three institutes, ISB, A, and B. And they will be selecting the cases based on the topic that they want to deal with. It can be an Harvard business case study, or it can be a case study which has been designed by IIMB or A or ISB. There is no depth for that. So even though the case study is selected, how they link it to the present situation is the key for the faculty, and how they bring into the real time situation is what uh, the whole discussion in the class, and how the current dynamics in the market are going to be discussed. The case study may be a 3-year-old case study which has been written at that point of time, and today's what is the relevance of that when there's a change in the technology, or change in the leadership roles, or change in the approach itself, or change in the business um, priorities itself. So those are the points the team will be discussing in the classroom, and that's how they bring in the real time situations to the learning aspects. Yeah.
And thank you, Amit sir. Thank you for joining us today. You have a very busy schedule. And what we'd like to understand,
Amit, we can't
you're
hear
not
you.
audible.
You're on mute.
So my
Amit.
apologies for being a bit delayed, but I hope we can make the best use of time that we have now with us.
Okay, absolutely. And so we'd like to understand about how ISB, one incorporates the case studies. Second, then how do the students really engage with the Indian industries or the Indian scenario in terms of the economic development which is happening?
Sure. So when we say that our curriculum is research backed, we have 5 research centers and 6 centers of excellence across our 2 campuses. And those research centers and centers of excellence have been established in conjunction with industry. So we do a lot of practical application oriented research in those research centers, and from there those insights which the faculty work on the various projects or consulting assignments, those get incorporated into the classroom discussions, in the case studies, and in the curriculum per se. So that's one thing that keeps the curriculum current, and I'm sure what Mr. Vikram and Bala also mentioned similar things. And second thing is about the industry interaction. So we have a concept called block weeks, wherein, you know, in the later terms, students can take a course in 1 week. A complete course is taught in 1 week, and the course is taught by industry practitioners. For example, somebody from HLL coming and teaching marketing in practice, somebody from the PE world coming and teaching valuations, and this happens over a course of 1 week because industry professionals will come in that week and teach an entire course of 20 hours duration in that particular week. And this ensures that students learn from the practitioners who are actually doing that work in the industry currently. That's the second example. And the third is we also have something called experiential learning project, which is now mandatory for all the PGP students to be a part of. Now, this project is done in teams, and students apply to those projects through the various opportunities that the placement team, the CAS team brings to them, and they work on this project for 2 to 3 months, giving their recommendations and findings at the end of the project. So this gives them an exposure to the industry practices, solve those problems, and get a chance to apply the skills that they have already brought in or work or they get at ISB. So these are the 3 key things that we have, apart from other projects which we'll talk about maybe in the course of the discussion.
Great. And I completed my MBA back in 2006. I'm just wondering if I land up in one now, how rigorous it will become. In a way, I'm thankful that, okay, I completed it back then. This is so rigorous.
Well, the
So
academic
coming,
rigor has certainly gone up.
it has, I can see that, completing a course in 1 week. So we completed it like 3 or 4 weeks back then.
So those one
And
week is a block week, as we
yeah,
call it. You do only that course and nothing else in that particular week. So that's why
only that
you're able
course.
to do that. And the idea is industry practitioners can spend that 1 week at the campus. Otherwise, in the busy schedule, they won't be able to spend a complete term on the campus for the students.
1 week. Correct. I think that is the way that it can be incorporated into such a short duration of a program. And during this, the 1 year that they spend in this particular course, whether it is IIMA, B, or ISB, they will also be going through a lot of life business challenges. And how is it that the students really incorporate all that they're learning into the classroom through two different areas of the real economic development, or the real challenges which are coming from the industry. In case Vikram sir, you would like to go first on this.
Sure. So that's a great question. In fact, we did a lot of research into innovation, for example, and recently there was a course introduced called Innovation Live. So herein, what happens is industry leaders and practitioners, they come into the classroom and give a talk about their industries and what kind of challenges they have, and a project is derived out of that talk. So that is based on the challenges, on the solutions. It is surrounding the solutions that the students can come up with. These are discussed, and again, I keep using the word orchestrated by the professor, because that is in reality how it is done. And in the case-based methodology, the professor simply guides on terms of various frameworks that can be applied, and solutions can be come up with. These are discussed again with the corporate houses, and actually implemented as well. So there have been a lot of past instances wherein this has happened. Apart from this, in terms of industry engagement, we have IIMA Ventures, which is into incubation of startups. So we have a lot of startups which are incubated there. Students have the opportunity to go there and also work on some projects, and there are credits associated with that as well. So it is extremely interesting the way a student has a whole gamut of options available to ensure that they engage with these leading organizations and emerging organizations of India.
And Bala sir, how does IIM Bangalore orchestrate
Yeah.
that?
See, interaction with the organizations for an 1 year MBA students under the busy schedule. As you know that they are taking 25% extra load compared to the 2 year MBA students and 720 hours. What we have done is we have made a compulsory comprehensive project for the students, which they have to work in an organization. So there will be a tie-up of a group of students of 3 to 4 students. They go to a company and they identify a project there and they work on it, and they submit the proposal or submit the report end of their program. So this is a comprehensive project which is a compulsory for all the students, and this is being rated, that is a credited project. So this is how the students will come into interaction with the current organizations and their challenges. This is one part of it. Then another one is every Wednesday we have named it as a seminar week. Second half of Wednesday we are not scheduling any activities, the academic activities for the students. It's a seminar week. So during this seminar day, that is Wednesday second half, they will be inviting an industry specialist based on their interest and the students interest. So like this, the last year we have close to 25 seminars which are the industry specialists. So they will come and they discuss about their industry, their challenges, and these things will become the learnings for the students, and they will also interact with these industry leaders, and that's how they will also develop a networking opportunity for them. Yeah. So this is with
Yes.
respect to the interaction with the industry. Yeah.
And Amit sir, at ISB, the ELP and the block weeks, they also orchestrate a
ELP and the
similar
block
environment.
weeks, and maybe few others like the case comms also are very popular now, and a lot of the students are applying their learnings in those case competitions in India and abroad. That's one avenue. There are those clubs, function specific clubs where students are members, and they organize a lot of events, calling in leaders from across their verticals to come and interact with students. I think those are also some other avenues where students engage with corporates. But in terms of application, the case comms, the ELP, I think that's the key.
Right. And this is one thing that is, that is very important for India today, and the Indian schools are really coming up in a big way. So, how have you seen the international perception of the MBA graduates from IIMA, ISB evolve in the recent years? Things have changed drastically, especially amongst the multinational employers.
Uh,
In,
Shall I go? Okay.
yes, please.
Uh, I think at IMA, what we are seeing and what I would say the single most influential perception change is that at least in the PGPX 1 year MBA graduates are now being seen as highly agile, very adaptable, and extremely proficient problem solvers. Now, this is what we hear from the corporates, and this is evident from the growth as well that we see our alumni is facing, and also the confidence in the corporate partners to come back to the institute and recruit again and again from us. So I think and I think it's the same across the board, even with ISB and IMB as well. This area and this area of 1 year MBA and the kind of specific focused training which is being imbibed into the students is really catching steam. And there are growth plans as well that we have for this program, and it will surely grow. We are also crossing international borders and will very soon have a campus in Dubai as well. And we are entering Dubai with the 1 year MBA.
Nice. And at IIM Bangalore, sir, how does this? How have you seen things changing?
Okay. See, again, there's a full demand for our students, and there's no doubt on that. And year on year, there's a pressure on us to increase the batch size, but we are not going with that. And ours is a 75 students focused batch right from day one. And the students, in addition to our comprehensive project, more than 60% of the courses they go through, there will be a project for them to complete. And this is the one which exposes them to the real time situation or a in detail study about a particular topic in their area. So this becomes an opportunity for them to interact with the industry and also to interact with the current situations. And they discuss these things with the faculty in the classrooms and with their students. So these are all the learnings which is happening parallelly. It's a 360-degree learning experience in the classroom. And yes, the students are well receiving this, and also in the industry the students have been in demand year after year. Yeah,
Yes.
back to
So I totally echo the views of Mr. Vikram and Bala here. In terms of international, outlook, if you look at uh, 70, 21% of our LMs are now abroad, and that's a significant number if you look at 20,000 LMs right now. And if you look at the recruitment trends over the years, the multinational organizations are recruiting people for their foreign locations. So they do recruit them, train them here in the offices for a while, but then they move them across projects, across geographies, not just in Asia, Middle East, but also across UK, US, and other countries. So that trend is something which is more pronounced in the last a few years, is what I'll say in terms of international. We have also are looking at getting international placements right off the campus. Those also are driving bearing a bit of fruit. The larger trend is in terms of people moving to those across geographies. After a couple of years, or maybe after 6 months, 1 year, that trend is much more pronounced now, and that shows the acceptability of our graduates across the globe.
That's a stronger trend actually, and it is a stronger sign of how the program is preparing you for the future, because it's not just the immediate shift that you get. You are preparing for the long term.
True.
yes.
Right. And so, in terms of the next few years of how the program design is going to change, and how the things you're looking at, the curriculum advancing towards a certain aspect, are there any particular, let's say, areas of the industry demand which are getting incorporated into the programs? In case Vikram sir, you want to go in first on this.
Sure. I think the next 2-3 years is going to see a lot of excitement, especially in the space of digital and AI and machine learning. There was an interesting speech which I saw of Sundar Pichai also. He said, we just started scratching the surface of AI and its capabilities. So, I mean, there are opportunities galore. And the way industry and products and services are adopting and adapting this is really amazing. I mean, things are changing even as we speak. So, industry 4.0, I don't know if we are still there or already moved on to 6.0, but at least education has definitely moved ahead into further numbers. So I think the curriculum is already seeing a lot of changes and adoption of AI tools into the courses. There are a lot of business simulations happening. There are dedicated courses on AI into core courses as well, and even electives that we offer. There are specific courses on digital transformations and digital marketing, for example. There are a lot of other areas which are being enhanced to showcase what AI can do in the industry. And decision making in such an environment, which is constantly changing, is going to be, the main focus area now. So, the way a student needs to approach a problem using all these tools, using big data, is most crucial. And that decision making point is what we are training at least our students in, and that's the future, I think, and everything is moving in that direction. So we consider ourselves as a talent multiplier. I think gone are the days when an education institute would just teach something. This is, for us, it's more of a training ground for students for leadership. and we prepare them for decision making in the next industrial revolution. So I think that's the future I foresee.
Okay, good. See, at IIMB, at the end of each course, there will be a feedback from the students. And this feedback will be discussed in the faculty committee in detail. And we'll try to see, is there anything that we need to enhance in the given course? That is one way of looking into it. And the second one is the program review itself. So once in 3 to 4 years, there will be a program review. For this review, it is not just the faculties, even the outside people are there. That is, the industry specialists are there, and the alumni body is also participating in this. So they bring in the new concepts and new things, whatever that needs to be considered for teaching. So with all these inputs, we will be constantly reviewing the program year on year. Just to give you an input, this year we introduced a new core area, new core subject. All these years, which was not as a part of the core, now it has become a core, that is a sustainability. So that has become the core, one of the core, which is a compulsory course. Then when it comes to the electives, every year, at least 15% of the electives are new electives. Again, of late, if I see for the last 3 years, it is AI, ML, and the business analytics. That is the one which is coming up with new electives. So always there is a trend which is followed in the industry, which is being there in the education institute also. So the students who are coming out of this program, they are industry ready. Even though they are entering at a mid-management level, they are equipped with the tools and techniques to manage the situation. So that's what we are looking into. They are employable rather than the employees. Yeah.
Right. And ISB, sir,
Yeah.
how do you look at the program evolving over the years?
So at ISB, we believe that managers of tomorrow need to have a fundamental understanding of tech, data, and analytics, because those are the things which are going to drive industry forward. And to make, let's say, AI in finance or data-driven decision making, people have to be aware of tech, data, and analytics. Hence, what we have done is we have integrated tech, data, and analytics in all aspects of our courses. So then there's no it's not that we just have a specific course on technology or a course in Gen AI. It's about how to use those tools in your regular courses or in a regular functions like finance or marketing, and hence those elements are now part of our courses across various functions and so on and so forth. How do you use that to actually make better decisions as managers?
Right. And this is a very interesting question about the work-life balance, a component. Is work-life balance a component that is focused along the holistic development in these MBA courses?
Well, let me take that one.
Yes.
Well, so in the 1 year MBA, students do come in with some sort of work experience. The average work ex that the PGPX students have with us is about 7.5 odd years. So it's been a while, perhaps, since they have sat down in the class, and gone through an academic program. But they, it the rigor is there. So the training will be there. What the institute does is we have certain pre-preparatory modules which are rolled out to the students even before they arrive on campus. So this helps them hit the ground running and prepares them for some of the core courses which will be taught. Like as I mentioned before, the cohort mix is extremely diverse. So not everyone would be an engineer, for example, or not everyone would be having quant skills or Excel skills or something like that. So we ensure that they are trained. So that ways the student, once he or she is on campus, will not spend a lot of time preparing, to understand the course. We'll ensure that the student is already prepared to understand and grasp whatever is being taught. So having said that, that time gets saved. But apart from that, yes, there are a lot of activities on campus which the 1 year MBA students quite aggressively participate in. There are sports activities. We have a brand new sports complex on the IIMA campus. There's a temperature controlled indoor swimming pool. There are yoga rooms. There's a gymnasium. All sports grounds are there: football, hockey, uh, basketball, everything is there. So a lot of students get involved in these activities. It's all about managing time, you know. So I think those students who can manage their time well, they have a very great balance of doing non-academic activities, sports activities, and also handle their academic activities very well. And the institute trains you on how to handle all this. So yeah, there is, the rigor is tough. You need to be academically inclined to go through it. But having said that, if you manage your time well, you can get through. It's not a problem.
Okay, the work-life balance for students at IIM Bangalore. From the faculty side, it is the same rigor which continues throughout the year. We have 5 terms for this 1 year MBA program. Year on year, we have observed students are telling that the first 2 terms are the most difficult terms for them. The next is like a cakewalk. But from the faculty side, there is no dilution in terms of the rigor of the program. What has happened in these first 2 terms? They were in the industry, they are away from the academics for quite a long time, and thereby their reading habits or writing habits or the discussion on the given topic, all those things take some time for them to come to the grip of the subject. So that's where they find it's a bit difficult in the first 2 terms. But by the end of the second term, they are well equipped and they know how to manage the system. So if they are able to sustain in the first 2 terms, it's a easy walk for them. And we ensure all support is being provided in terms of the learning effect. In case if any student is having any challenge in terms of understanding, it can be a quant subject or it can be a finance subject or it can be any other subjects. If they come to the faculty, there are PhD scholars who are available and they will be there as a tutors for the students. And before they come on board on the campus itself, we have a preparatory classes mainly on quants and finance. That also gives them a uh, prepared for the rigor when they come to the this one. So one need not worry about the struggle here or the intensity of the program. Come with an open mind to learn, then sure you will enjoy the program. Thank you.
Yes. And Amit sir, how does ISB look at the work-life balance?
So totally agree on the point. So at ISB also we have the preparatory courses, the modules, and at ISB also students feel that first 2 terms specifically are difficult. I think that's a common theme across all the colleges on the panel. What I'd like to add here about work-life balance for people is that it is rigorous, no doubt, but you have enough time to do other things as well. Now, why do people feel that it's your schedule is packed? Because there's so much on offer. You have classes, you want to study, do assignments, you also have clubs activities, you have extracurricular activities, there are sports activities, there's socializing, and so on and so forth. Because of so many things, you can't do everything. So the idea here is to prioritize. What do you I want to take away from the experience in the 1 year? We want to take away a network. So you might want to meet all the people and try to get to know each other. Or do you want to take a knowledge? So you might need to slog away in the classes and beyond that. And so it's about you, what you want from your if you're clear, you'll be able to get through with work life balance. If you're not clear, then you'll be dabbling in almost everything and not taking anything of essence. So that's my idea. Be clear on what you want in the experience, and work life balance will follow.
Yes. And Amit sir, I'll go backwards on the
Sorry.
questions. Sorry. Yes, sir.
Sorry, Shruti. Just on the work-life balance, how about hearing it from the horse mouth itself? A person who has done a 1 year MBA program at ISB. Shruti, what is your view on that?
So first 2 months, you understand how to manage your time. You realize this is what I can do, this is what I cannot do. Let me not go there, and you set your pace according. So you're very right about the first two months. Setting the calibration of what you are getting into. So I totally agree with that period being the benchmark across the programs. And sir, we'll go backwards on this question. Who is the school looking for? If we have to give them a framework that if you're a good fit for ISB and then B and then A, how do I decide that, okay, this is how I fit?
So we are looking for people who have a holistic profile. So as we have been mentioning in a lot of other sessions, that at ISD we look at holistic profile of the candidate. We don't evaluate you on just one parameter. It's not the GMAT, it's not your CAT, it's not your work ex alone. A combination of that plus your interaction will what make you stand out among the people who apply. Now specifically, if you have to give the qualities, we look at people who have leadership potential, who have showcased some qualities in terms of leading either through authority or through informally. We are looking at people who are innovators, people who would have come up with innovative projects in their profile, who have maybe worked on patents, got patents. We are looking at people who are problem solvers, people who have worked in areas where typically they have been able to make an impact through their work. So those are the three key things essentially, what we look at. And of course, it goes beyond in terms of clarity of thought, your self awareness. Those are all hygiene factors. But these are three key things I'll advise people to look for, or showcase in your applications.
Yes.
Okay. Um, yeah, let me take up this. Whom are we looking for? There's an eligibility criteria also. We have put up on our notice board. Who is eligible? So if I divide this question into two parts, or if I want to answer in two parts, quantitatively and qualitatively. Quantitatively is the eligibility criteria, a minimum of 50 percentile in the marks in the academics, and a GMAT or a GRE score, and a minimum of work experience after graduation of 5 years. So these are the quantitative numbers, and yes, we arrive at. But your target is to get shortlist for the interview. So how are we shortlisting the candidates for the interview? We consider the past academic performance of the students, then the how he has performed in GMAT or GRE, that is our admission test score, that what we consider, then number of years of work experience, then international exposure, then any significant achievements in the recent past, either in academics or in the work area side of it. Then comes the diversity is a non-engineer from a non-IT sector, and the gender. These are all the factors. So there will be a certain weightage for each of these parameters, and based on that, we arrive at a final score of the application. So then, after arriving at a final score, we will shortlist candidates for the interview in a ratio of 1:4. To select one student, we will be calling 4 candidates. In the interview, what is that we are looking for? All those things what Mr. Amit has mentioned, his leadership qualities, his ability to understand the situation, how to derive the solution, how he can work around the system. So all those things is what we look at, and how we get inputs. So one is by asking the direct questions, another one is the statement of purpose. Why is he doing this program? So what is that he is expecting of this program, and how he wants to make use of this knowledge for his career growth. So these are the things that we look in the SOP. And also LORs are another important factor, the letter of recommendation, what his employer or his manager has to say about him in terms of his potential to grow. So these are all the points we try to discuss during the interview and see how fit the candidate is for an MBA program. So this is how we arrive at the candidate. Yeah, back to you.
And
So
Vikram
at
sir, how does IMA look? What does IMA look for?
Sure. So at IIMA as well, I agree with what Amit and Balaji have said. We also pretty much look at the same aspects. But to add to what they have just mentioned, at IIMA, the admissions committee and the interview panelists, what they see is your academic inclination. So there are questions in the interview which are designed around that. There are extempore topics which would have you throw some numbers and analyze. So that definitely happens. Then after that, what the panelists also see, because they are professors themselves and they are the ones who take the interview, they look at it from a classroom perspective. Can this candidate add value in the case discussion studies? Because our batch is then eventually divided into syndicates, and they are given those cases to read, discuss, and present. So during that discussion of a syndicate of maybe 7 or 8 students, with each having a diverse background, can this person add value and add more to the discussion and bring out quality in the eventual presentation in the classroom? That is the second aspect. The third aspect is the person a recruiter recruitee kind of a fit? Does the person fit within the framework of the requirements that we are aware of from the corporate world? How is the person from a placements perspective also? So it's a holistic approach to the candidate which is seen. What kind of achievements the candidate has had in the career thus far, and why does the person wish to do an MBA to begin with? So a whole lot of these aspects are built upon. They are gauged during the interview, and the interview stage is pretty is serious, and a very large filtration sort of point, wherein the final candidates are selected afterwards.
Right. And there are a lot of very interesting audience questions as well, which I'd like to take up. And what I'll do is, in the interest of time, I'll take up one question for each panelist. So there's this question about, amongst industry change, function change, and leadership or upskill enablement, what would be the core focus of the programs? So in case you can speak on behalf of the complete 1 year MBA, the whole offering as such.
I think, see, the program is designed to build leaders of tomorrow. All right. So the candidate needs to understand, they need to know themselves first. What is it that the candidate want from the program? What does the candidate or the student want to do in life? It could be a pivot. It could be, I work in a PSU, for example, I want to move into corporate management. Or I am into business analytics already, I want to look at senior management. So these are some examples. I've just retired from the armed forces, I want to get into the corporate world. So every individual's background and situation is very different. What is unique about the program, that it will change the career trajectory completely in which you wish to pivot into. Now, which is that box in which you correctly tick for yourself is extremely important. So one thing we always tell our students on the first day itself is, know thyself. Understand yourself first. What is it that you wish to do in life? What is it that you want to learn and make yourself an expert in? Because the world is huge out there and it's changing very, very fast. So that would be my submission on this question.
Okay. Same thing told in a different way. Let me put it across. See, we are a management education institute. We are here to provide you the management knowledge or the managerial inputs. And we provide that in two different sets. One is core and the one is electives. Core is a compulsory courses that student has to go through, and electives is the one that he can choose based on his interest. Let's take an example of an person from the IT industry. If he has come to this program, before coming, if he thinks that marketing is more lucrative for me and I want to get into the marketing role, and since I am from a tech background, let me get into an industry of fintech industry and marketing as a role, and he is coming from a coding background. So if this is his mindset through which he has joined the program, but during the program, after going through the core courses, if he finds his interest is more in economics, international business, then he can choose electives based on those. And what he should look at is, it's good to have a kind of vision what he wants to be at the time of joining the program, but after going through the core courses he will really come to know what that particular subject or the area in which where he wants to work is all about. Based on that, he should be flexible enough to change over to the new roles or the new industry. If he's that kind of a person, then he can get a maximum benefit out of this program rather than sticking to the no, I want to be in the fintech industry and into the marketing. And if he continues to be in that where his interest is there in the international business, then it becomes a bigger question mark for him in the survival or in the performance in the in his career growth. So my suggestion is, yes, all these things, transformations are possible. It is not at all difficult. It is possible. How you work on those things are the real key factors. And faculties are there to help you out. Please go and discuss with them what is your plan and what kind of electives that you need to take up. And also, in a class of 75 to 100 students, there will be someone who is from that industry or from that area. Please discuss with him and try to understand what is that it takes to be in that role. And also, as I mentioned, the seminar series, please invite the people, the specialists from that particular industry, and interact with them, build a good network. That becomes a much more handy for you in terms of starting up your career after this MBA program. Yeah, thank you.
Yes, absolutely. There are a lot of things that people come in with, and during the course of the year, also, you will be exposed to so many more ideas as well as avenues. So, you need to be able to pivot and shift accordingly. And Amit sir, there's this very interesting question, just in line with the discussion that we are having, is about the career transitions. What kind of career transitions do students typically achieve post this 1 year MBA program, especially for those who are coming from the non-business backgrounds?
Sure. So if you look at the features of the PGP program, the three key features or offerings that we have for our students. One is to ensure positive career pivots, and that's where we talk about the transition. Second is also to build resilient self-development. So you're exposed to situations in the classroom and beyond on the campus, which builds your character beyond academics. And the third is to transform into game-changing leaders beyond in your careers. So maybe after 10, 15 years, you all will be part of industries where you'll be making large scale impact. Now, talking about the first point to about the career transitions. So the program is designed in such a way, the curriculum as well as the interventions in the program, that we expect majority of our students to transition industries or functions if they so wish. In fact, if you look at data for the last few years, 66% of our cohort has both an industry and a function change. Around 70% each have a function change or an industry change per se. And this transitions, if I take some examples, we have had people who have come from the media, who come from the media industry, move into consulting. We have had people who come from the film direction. Somebody was a film director at Dharma Productions has moved into IT consulting division, or media industry. There's somebody who's an Indian Idol singer. So all those transitions are possible. These are extreme examples. But for people who come in working in, let's say, as a software engineer, or who come in, they can transition into various other industries and functions, which are much more common. So transitions are a part of the campus of people who come to ISB for transitioning and pivoting their careers to the PGP program.
Right. And Vikram sir, in case you would like to add to this, what type of career transitions can students really look for, or prepare themselves for through the program?
So honestly, there is no limit to this. And to add to what the gentlemen have already mentioned, once the student is here and gone through the core courses, the student gets introduced to so many avenues and aspects of business management and decision making that it could happen that the student might want to pivot into something else. So that is also a possibility. Now, from what to what, there are umpteen number of examples which have happened over the last 20 years of the existence of the program. I mean, somebody from fashion has pivoted into consulting. Somebody from a chef has pivoted into business analytics. Armed forces moved into CXO level in the corporate world. So, I mean, there is no end to the amount of examples which are there. And it all boils back again to what you want at the end of the day, either before joining the program or after completing the core courses. What do you wish to focus on once the elective terms start? That's the reason why, term 4 and term 5, which are the last two terms of the IMA PGPX program, they're called preparing for top management. And once the student has decided, then it's a very focused approach towards those courses that the student has an interest in and wishes to pivot or wishes to pursue further. So there is honestly no limit to it.
And Bala sir, in case you could add anything on the career transitions for the IIM Bangalore aspirants.
Um, with respect to the transitions, yes, we already discussed that in detail. But when it comes to the placement process at IIM Bangalore, I would like to mention one point here. Students who are interested in entrepreneurship, starting their own business. One is we have an entrepreneur as a separate area. We have the elective courses, they can consider that, and we have the core also on the entrepreneurship. So at the end of their second term, that is somewhere in the middle of their program, if they have an idea, we have entrepreneurship cell also, that is NS Raghavan Center for Entrepreneurship. So we give them an incubation center, so we give them an opportunity to start their enterprise there itself, the entrepreneurial journey there itself. And during this process they will get guidance from the faculty and also from the industry experts. So while learning, they can also start with their project activities, especially on the entrepreneur. And in the placement cycle, for that year, the student will be out of the placement. So he won't be considered for placement because he is already having an entrepreneurial journey. So we want him to focus on that. Then in the next 1 year period, if that firm is successful, yes, it takes off. In case if he finds that his decision is not working, the entrepreneurial journey is not working, he can come back to the placement cycle in the next year. So it is like a placement assured kind of an support for him, and with a full-fledged effort, he can go ahead do his entrepreneurial journey exploration. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I now realize how short 1 hour is. There's so many more things that we can discuss. But thank you, sir, for joining us today. Thank you, Vikram sir. Thank you, Amit sir. Thank you, Bala sir. And you have shared the perspectives that you have shared will be very valuable for the applicants who are going to look at an MBA program in this particular year. So guys, as we have heard today, this opportunity to learn, network, develop leadership capabilities at the heart of world's soon to be third largest economy, that is India. This creates a very special advantage for you. This gives you a front row access to India's transformation. This is why we wanted to discuss, this particular nature of the program very explicitly. And for those considering their next career move, I hope today's discussion has provided you clarity on why timing and location matter when you are pursuing an MBA. So the question now has shifted from why should I pursue an MBA in India to can you afford not to be in India right now? So we invite you to consider how you might be a part of this extraordinary moment. And thank you all for joining us. We wish you success on your leadership journey. And thank you, sir, for taking out the time for discussing this topic elaborately and candidly with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank
Shruti.
Thank you
thank
so
you.
much.
Yeah, and I wish
Thank
all the best for all the applicants this year. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thanks.